ಅನುದಿನ ಅನುಕ್ಷಣ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲೂ ಕಲಿಯೋಣ, ಕಲಿಕೆಯ ಹೊಸ ಹಾದಿಯಲಿ ಜೊತೆಗೂಡಿ ಹೆಜ್ಜೆಯ ಹಾಕೋಣ, ಸಂತಸದಿ ಕಲಿಯೋಣ ನಮ್ಮ ಹೆಮ್ಮೆಯ ಈ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ.
ಈ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಕಲಿಕಾ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ.
ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಸರ್.
Present sir. Present teacher.
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
Yes sir. Yes teacher. Present ma'am.
Welcome children to the 9th standard English First Language School Readiness Program Session 2. Now before we move on to today's session, let us recall the assignments that I had given to you. Come on, check your answers now. Do you remember this? Guess the homophones. I am sure you would have done it, children. The first one is very easy, rose. Now we pronounce both as rose. The first one is spelt as R-O-S-E, while the second one is spelt as R-O-W-S. Now we'll move to the second assignment that I had given to you. Now can you guess this? Very good. H-A-R-E and H-A-I-R, hair. Now I had also given you assignments on choosing the correct answer with respect to personal pronouns. Let's look at the first question. Dash have agreed to meet each other every week. A, we, B, she, C, he, D, I. Now what's the right answer? Very good. We have agreed to meet each other every week. Now do you see that I have also underlined some words here, have, each other. Now these are some of the words which give us the clue to the right answer, we. Now how do we arrive at this right answer? We have, she have, he have, I have. Now you might feel that yes, she have and he have is not right. It should be she has and he has. Whereas you may be confused between we have and I have. So when you get confused, it is the words each other that helps you to derive at the right answer, that is we. Because here we are talking of each other, which refers to the presence of minimum of two people. Therefore, since I is singular, we is plural, we will arrive that the answer is we and not I. Now let's move to the next one. Since the lockdown period, it is Dash who has been cooking at home. I, me, they, we. Have you written the right answer? What is the right answer? Since the lockdown period, it is I who has been cooking at home. Now this is very easy, I suppose, right? So let's move to the next assignment that I had given to you. Now this was regarding the phrasal verbs. I had given you 4 sentences and I had asked you to choose the right words: come up, come over, come out, come across. Now let's look into the 4 sentences one by one. The first one is, I may have to cancel our meeting. Something has dash. So here whatever is your answer going to be in the blank, it has to mean happened. Now what is it? Come out, come across. Oh, it's already gone there. Come over is gone. Come up is there. Now let's see what's the right answer. Yes, so we are left with come up. It should be, I may have to cancel our meeting. Something has come up. We'll move to the next sentence. Please dash this weekend. So the words that you fill in the blank should mean visit. Now let's check what it is. It's not come across. It is not come up. It is not come out. So we are left with the answer, come over. So the correct sentence will be, please come over this weekend. Let's move to the third one. The rain stopped and the sun has dash. So in the blank you have to fill a word which means appeared. Now let's check the right answer. It should either be come up, come out, come across or come over. Let's check the answer. It's not come up. It's not come over. Yes, the right answer is come out. So our sentence will be the rain stopped and the sun has come out. Moving to the next one. I dash one of my classmates from school today. So our answer should have the meaning met. Let's check the answer now. Oh, the right answer is come across. So I hope children you have all written the right answers for these small assignments that I have given to you. Let's move to the first part of today's session, which will be on reading. Now, as you know, we have a textbook which helps us in reading. Now, in today's session, we will understand the purpose of reading. Now, why do we have to read? What is the purpose of reading? Let's go one after the other. The first purpose of reading we will try to understand today is how to find facts. So let's read the paragraph and understand how to find out facts. Read this paragraph with me, children. Subhash Chandra Bose left for England on September 15th, 1919 in order to study and appear for the Indian Civil Service, ICS. Now, let us try to answer some of the comprehension questions. The first one has already come up on your screen. Who went to England? Yes, Subhash Chandra Bose. Now, as you are reading, you are also trying to comprehend. Now, comprehending is to understand. So, as you are reading the question, you will quickly be able to recall the answer here as Subhash Chandra Bose. Now, we will revisit the paragraph so that we try to understand from where we actually got this answer from the paragraph. Subhash Chandra Bose is already there in the paragraph in the very beginning. So, this gives us the answer to the question who. Now, let's move to the next comprehension question. When did he go to England? If you recall, let's see, maybe this may be your answer. Yes, September 15, 1919. Very good. Let's revisit the paragraph. Subhash Chandra Bose left for England on September 15, 1919. So, this paragraph also gives us the fact or the year and the date that he went. Now, let's move to the next comprehension question. Why did he go to England? Yes, in order to study and appear for the Indian Civil Service, that is ICS. Now, in the paragraph, it is very obvious again that we have found the reason for his visit to the England in these lines, in order to study and appear for the Indian Civil Service. So, in this very short paragraph, or maybe you can call it even a single line, you get the fact about who, then when, even maybe you can even frame a question on where did Subhash Chandra Bose go, and you also have the reason for his visit to England. Now, let's move on to the next purpose of reading, children, to find main idea. Now, how do we find main idea in a reading material? Look at this. The sun's energy is very useful. It will never run out. It is free too. Australia is lucky. It receives more of the sun's rays than almost any other country in the world. With the rising cost of fossil fuels, it makes sense to use sun's rays to heat up and light up our houses. Did you read this paragraph with me? Now let's try to answer some comprehension questions. Okay, the apt title that can be given to this paragraph is, you have choice here, sun rays, renewable sources of energy, importance of solar energy. What do you think is your answer? My answer is importance of solar energy. Now let's move to the next purpose. The third one is to make inferences. Let's take a very small example and try to understand how we infer information from something which is not really given. Now let's read this small paragraph which has been picked up from an interesting article. A plane was veering and shuddering in the sky. It was losing height rapidly. A figure fell out of the fiery object and a white structure opened like a flower. It gradually landed on the green pasture. Now let's read this again, children. A plane was veering and shuddering in the sky. It was losing height rapidly. A figure fell out of the fiery object and a white structure opened like a flower. It gradually landed on the green pasture. Now, let's try to answer the question on this passage meant for inferential comprehension. What information in the paragraph helps us to know that the pilot is safe? I suppose many of you are with me in getting the answer here. Good. A figure fell out of the fiery object and a white structure opened like a flower. It gradually landed on the green pasture. When we revisit the paragraph, we can make out that the plane was about to crash in the first line. The second one, where we see that a figure fell out of the fiery object. Here the figure refers to the pilot. The fiery object refers to the crashing plane. A white structure refers to the parachute, which opens like a flower, and it gradually landed on the green pasture, refers to the safe landing of the pilot on a green pasture. Let's move to the next purpose of reading, to comprehend maps. Children, you would have seen many maps that are given in your books. It may be a route map, it may be a country's map, it may be a map to locate a river. So there are many kinds of maps which can be given. Now let's look at this map. Observe the places here. If you can read what is given on the map here, we can answer the question related to the map. The map shows the route of Jan Shatabdi Express train running between dash and dash cities. If you were a keen observer of the map, you will know the answer. Now let's see what the answer is. Yes, you are right. The answer is Hubli and Bangalore cities. So the correct answer will be, the map shows the route of Jan Shatabdi Express train running between Hubli and Bangalore cities. So we even read a map. Now let's look into the next purpose of reading. Children, don't be surprised. We read a picture to comprehend it. Yes, we read a picture. Now, I want you to read this picture. What message is the picture conveying to you? Very good. It says, save or protect the earth for the future generations. Let's move on to the next purpose of reading. It is to comprehend a table. Yes, we read a table and try to understand it. Now, when you think of a table, what comes to your mind first? Yes, we read our timetable every day in the class. Now, it is very essential for you to keep the timetable of the television program handy so that you can be updated with what program is going to come on which date and what time. Now, similarly here, let us see what table is going to come up on the screen now. Yes, this is a scoreboard. It is still a table. Now, this is a football match scoreboard that you see. Now, let us try to see what is the question that is going to come up on this table. As you are reading the question, also see the table. Read it and answer. The team that is in lead according to the scoreboard is the dash team. I shall read the question again. As you observe the table, read the sentence again. The team that is in lead according to the scoreboard is the dash team. Yes, very good. The answer is home team. Very good. Now we'll move to the next purpose of reading. Yes, what do you see here? Very good. It's a graph and a chart. So the next purpose of reading is to comprehend graphs and charts. Now, very quickly we will move to the comprehension questions based on this graph because we have not given anything extensively in this graph and chart. The graph is showing dash. It's either a growth or a decline. Very easy, right? The correct answer is growth. We'll move to the next question. The displayed chart is about. Do you still remember what you saw in the chart? Yes. Was it about pronouns? Was it about idioms? Was it about phrases? Or was it about adjectives? Very good. The answer was option B, idioms. You are too quick and you are too clever. Let's see the next purpose of reading. It is to derive pleasure or to get entertainment. Now here is a little joke for you children. Read it and enjoy it. Teacher: Millie, give me a sentence starting with I. Millie: I is. Teacher: No, Millie, always say I am. Millie: Okay, I and the 9th letter of the alphabet. Did you enjoy the joke? Did you understand the joke, children? Many a times while reading the lesson, you would have enjoyed reading many jokes in your textbooks. We see that there are certain concepts that add life to our reading materials. In today's session, we will concentrate on one such aspect which adds life to our reading materials. What is it? Now you just saw in one of the charts. It is idioms. Now what are these idioms? Now if you already know, then fine. For those of you who don't know or those of you who have forgotten, let's quickly recall that idioms are phrases that do not mean exactly what they say. Right? Did you also know, children, that many of these idioms that we use in English today have a story behind them? Now, let's move on to beautiful story behind an idiom. Once, Alexander the Great landed on the coast of Persia. He saw that the Persian army was larger than his own army. He immediately ordered his men to literally burn the boats so that they would not run back to the boats and escape. He told his men, "We go home in Persian ships or we die." Alexander's men knew they had to win to go home safely. So they fought bravely. The ruthless decision of Alexander had in fact brought them victory. From then on, the idiom burn your boat has meant committing to something irrevocably till success is achieved. It means you commit yourself to some work which seems impossible, but you cannot take a back step, you cannot move from that point till you reach success. So, this is how many idioms in English have a story behind them. Now, you might also know the story of the boy who cried the wolf. You have heard it, right, children? Even there, you have an idiom behind it. I suppose you will read the story again to identify the idiom there. Now, let's look into some idioms which we commonly use in our daily life. What is this? We use the idiom wink of an eye. Now, what does it mean? It means immediately. Now, let's see how we can use this idiom in a sentence. It was all over in the wink of an eye. It means it was all over immediately. Let's move to the next one. What do you see here? Yes, ducks in a row. Now, what does this phrase mean? It means to organize things well. Let's use it in a sentence now. We must get our ducks in a row to make sure there is no problem when we are out of station. I suppose this has come to your experience already. Now, when you have to leave your house, when you have to go out on a vacation, you see that everything is right. There is no object in your fridge which will get spoilt. You will see that you have turned off your gas cylinder. You will see that you have switched off all the lights in the house. Won't you do these, children? We must get our ducks in a row to make sure there is no problem when we are out of station. Now, let's move to the next one. What do you see here? A bucket. Now, let's see what's going to happen to this bucket. Oh, she's kicked the bucket. Yes, the next idiom is kick the bucket. It means to die. Oh, what's the relationship between kicking a bucket and dying? Yes, that is what we said, that the phrases have no connection with the meaning that they stand for. Now, here we will see how this word has been used. All the goldfish in my aquarium kicked the bucket when we were on a holiday. It means all the goldfish in the aquarium died when we were on a holiday. Okay, I suppose you have enjoyed idioms till now, children. Let's move on to the next topic for today's session. Reporting verbs. Now, reporting verbs are very essential for us to understand what the person is saying, so that when we have to report the person's speech to the third person, it will help us. In other words, it means that these reporting verbs will help us in converting the sentences which are in direct speech to indirect speech. Now, look at this sentence here. Why were you late from school? Now, I want you to concentrate on what the speaker is saying in each of these examples that I give you. So, what is the speaker saying here? Rather, what is the speaker doing here? Why were you late from school? Very good. Here, the person is asking a question. So, when you have to report it, you have to use the correct word ask, or the past tense form of it, asked, A-S-K-E-D. Now, let's move on to the next sentence. I think you must improve your handwriting to get high scores. What is the speaker trying to say here? Yes, he is advising. So, our reporting verb will be advise. Let's move on. I could have avoided the accident if I would have listened to my mother. Now, what is this speaker thinking or saying here? Yes, she is regretting. She is feeling sad that she could not do what she was asked to do. So, she is regretting. So, the verb regret has to be used here. In the past tense form, we will use regretted. Please join me for lunch today. Now, what do you think the speaker is doing here? Very good. Inviting. So, the reporting verb invite has to be used while reporting. Be careful with that knife. It is very sharp. What is the speaker doing here? Yes, we are being warned here. The speaker is warning us. So, the reporting verb will be warn. We have to use the reporting verb warned. When is the last train to Mumbai? What is the speaker doing here? Enquiring. Very good. E-N-Q-U-I-R-I-N-G. Enquiring. So, when you are using it in a reported speech, you will use the word enquired. We will move on to the next one. Please give it to me. Let me try too. Now, you see that a person wants to play the saxophone. He is trying to ask the saxophone from the other person. So, what is he actually doing here? He is requesting. You do the same with your friends, right? You request your friend to give you a pen. You request your friend to give his book. You request your friend to give her pencil to you. You request. So, here the speaker is requesting. While using it in a sentence, you have to use it as requested. Wow, what a beautiful bird. The speaker here is exclaiming. So, you will say that the boy exclaimed. So, you will use the reported verb exclaim as exclaimed here. Sorry, I forgot to buy medicines for you. Very good. The speaker is apologizing. He is feeling sorry. So, the reporting verb used here is apologized. Very quickly, children, let us see what all we have learnt in today's session. We have learnt about reading, the various purposes of reading, how idioms are used to beautify the language while reading, and we have also understood how we use reporting verbs, how we understand reporting verbs. Now, let's look into the assignments that I want to give you for today's class. Are you ready with your paper and pen? Yes. Quickly note down today's assignments, children. First one, find the meaning of the idiom. Now, you can use a dictionary to find the meaning of these idioms. Pull up your socks. Next one, hit the nail on the head. Hit the nail on the head. Third one, drive me nuts. Drive me nuts. Draw the line. Draw the line. Okay. Quickly find out the meaning of these idioms, write it down in your notebooks and keep it ready for submission when you go back to your schools. Take some more assignments along with this. Complete the sentences with the correct reporting verbs. Note it down quickly, children. The first one is, she dash that the winner of the weekly essay competition was Kishore. She dash that the winner of the weekly essay competition was Kishore. Announced, informed, advised. Announced, informed, advised. Next one. Jitendra dash us not to drink the tap water. Jitendra dash us not to drink the tap water. Informed, insisted, warned. Informed, insisted, warned. Write down the third one. Shrija dash why it wasn't possible to get there by bus. Shrija dash why it wasn't possible to get there by bus. Advised, explained, informed. Advised, explained, informed. Have you noted it down, children? Let us end today's session with a beautiful quote. Now, as you all know that we are all like candles. Each of us have to light many other candles in life. So, please remember that which has to shine must endure burning. Try to remember this and think over what it means. Thank you for a patient hearing, children. Bye.
ಅನುದಿನ ಅನುಕ್ಷಣ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲೂ ಕಲಿಯೋಣ ಕಲಿಕೆಯ ಹೊಸ ಹಾದಿಯಲಿ ಜೊತೆಗೂಡಿ ಹೆಜ್ಜೆಯ ಹಾಕೋಣ ಸಂತಸದಿ ಕಲಿಯೋಣ ನಮ್ಮ ಹೆಮ್ಮೆಯ ಈ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ.
ಈ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಕಲಿಕಾ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ.
ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಸರ್.
Present, sir. Present, teacher.
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
Yes, sir. Yes, teacher. Present, ma'am.